Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be covering all the new items from the winter event / update 19 so far. And yeah, I'm going to be covering the present rune as well and doing a review of it, but that's going to be the second half of the video because the gear will be quicker to go through. Anyways, let's start right away. So I have already gone in pretty much a lot of everything because the drop rates aren't too bad. Anyways, the first thing we're going to talk about is the armor, which I briefly mentioned last video. This is the Moon's Charm of Heat. So this is a very unique armor because it is a quest reward and it is needed in order to fight the new zone boss. So the stats on it aren't too bad. 50,000 attack, 5 speed, and 750,000 HP is pretty decent. I mean, again, you're not going to really be using that armor for its stats. It's pretty much only used to fight the zone boss, and yeah, the only good part about it is all that health you get, and it is level 1100. So let's first go over the two new vanities. So first, the legendary vanity, known as the Staff of Frozen Lands. So it is level 1100 and does 275,000 damage, which actually is a lot for a vanity. But anyways, I love this vanity. It is super duper festive. It actually goes pretty decent with my character, not gonna lie, because of the blue snow globe. But yeah, I do like this vanity. There's not too many staff vanities in the game, like the ones that you hold it like this. I think it's just Umbrella and then the Hive Queen's Corrupted Sword. Those are the two that are that I can think of right now. Anyways, I do think they did a pretty good job with this one. It is pretty festive, it looks pretty nice, and it isn't very hard to get. If you farm the boss, you'll probably get a lot of these. So there is also a godly vanity known as the Peppermint, which actually does 2 million damage at level 1100, so it is the third best damage weapon in the game. The only two things better than it is Nihility and Infinity. So actually, if you're needing a damage weapon and you don't have those, maybe go for this. But I will be honest, for a godly vanity, it doesn't look amazing. I know a lot of people do like it, but in my opinion, it's kind of just a candy cane with a sharp spike. But hey, it does look pretty decent. I wouldn't use it, but you know, if you want a candy cane that can poke people, definitely use it. And I will predict this will probably be worth quite a bit on the marketplace once these items become tradable because it is a godly drop. But I have actually gotten quite a bit of them so far, so I don't think the drop rate's really that bad on it. And the 2 million damage is pretty insane for a vanity-based item. Anyways, there is also the new aura, the Aura of Aurora. That is something kind of hard to say that 10 times fast. Anyways, it gives 15 speed and 1000 HP. So it is only slightly worse than the Jacko cape and all of those capes from the Halloween event, so I think it's a very nice addition to the game. And plus, it is one of the most unique looking auras in the entire game by far. It looks fantastic. It adds this purpley vortex around you, and you're still getting 15 speed and 1000 HP. So if you missed out on the Halloween event and you're not wanting to spend a lot of gold trying to get one of those capes, definitely farm for this thing. Its drop rate isn't too bad. I do already have 5, so I won't expect you guys to struggle with it too much for getting one. And if you don't have any of those Halloween capes, definitely get this because they're only worse because they don't give crit and they only have 500 less HP points in the cape, so that's really not that much of a difference. And it really is pretty decent overall, so definitely go for this if you don't have those Halloween auras. So the next thing I'm going to cover pretty quickly because technically it's already been out before, and this is the Rune of the Snow Angel. I'm going to talk about it just because it is technically part of this update again, but I've talked about this a lot in the past and I'm sure you guys know a lot about it. This is just a better version of the Rune of the Holy Light. And the way you get it in this update is you farm hardcore EOT for those ice crystal shards. You need 3 of them and 1 Rune of the Holy Light in order to craft this from the blacksmith in the caves. Anyways, the main highlight of this event, in my opinion, is gonna be the Christmas present rune, the Rune of the Gifts. So this is for level 250 plus, and fun fact, it is the only godly rune in the game, and plus I like the design of it. Is literally just a giant floating gift. Like, it's pretty funny and I love it. It is actually a huge rune. I think in terms of physical size to your character, I think it's the biggest rune in the game. Anyways, it affects 2 abilities. First, Menacing Shout, instead of doing 700% damage, does 3000% damage. And it's actually really funny because if you're in a lobby with people, this attack will actually push players. So it does hit your allies and stuff in lobbies. So if you want to troll your friends, definitely use this. You can bully them, push them into a corner, and do whatever you want. I will say the only slight downside is you can push AFKers out of their spot. Don't be that guy. Don't push AFKers out of their spot, but you can. Just throwing it out there, you can. Anyways, the other ability it affects is going to be Calamity, which honestly, it is probably the most unique ability in the game. It spawns 4 presents that give random crit, heal, damage buffs. So it is a little interesting. So you spawn all these presents, as you can see, you walk over them, they might heal you, they might give you buffs like that, they might give you crit, they might give you damage. But is this rune good? That's what we're going to talk about for the rest of this video. So overall, I do not think this rune is very good. I would put it at a D or a C rating. It needs to be buffed in order to be viable. The main reason why it struggles is because Calamity Shout is changed to this new, unique, and cool ability, except you lose the standard Calamity. Like, you don't get that basic 80% damage increase that you get with every other rune in the game when wanting to use Calamity. It gets replaced with this present spawning ability. Yes, I think is very, very cool, but it also actually somewhat hinders this rune. It makes it somewhat bad because you can't get that constant 80% damage increase. You have to spawn in presents to sometimes get a damage increase. And honestly, the Menacing Shout attack doesn't do that much damage against the boss. As you can see, me and Spooks are struggling to kill the new zone boss with it. We thought it'd be kind of funny to two-man the zone boss with the present rune, and as you can see, it is a struggle and a half. It doesn't really do very much damage, and I'll be honest, I think the main point of this rune is more like the pumpkin rune from 2020. It's not the best, but it's mainly a collector's item, and I'm sure it'll be very valuable in the marketplace once it becomes tradable. I mean, it is more just to be festive, to be Christmassy, than to be a new meta. Now, since the update has only been out for a day, there is a major chance that it could be buffed quite a bit. So maybe it can become like a soul rune or a rune of the insanity. Maybe it'll become a lot better. Like if the Menacing Shout gets doubled in damage and does like 6,000% instead, I can see this being very viable because the cooldown isn't bad. It does, I mean, it doesn't do the best damage right now, but if it got buffed, it would do a lot of damage for its cooldown rating. And then honestly, in my opinion, the Calamity Shout is a great idea, but I think it would be better if instead of changing Calamity to spawn 4 presents, if they change something like Mending Sword, Cloak of Light, or one of those other abilities that you don't genuinely use a lot instead of removing Calamity. Because again, you're not getting that constant 80%. The only constant damage buff you can use is Havoc. However, if you're using Havoc and you spawn in the Calamity Shout presents, you're not going to be getting healed from them. So overall, this rune does kind of clash with itself a little bit. I do think it needs a buff, but still, great addition. Gotta love them adding more runes to the game. There's no complaints about that. And hey, it can definitely be buffed soon. It's barely been out. It's been out for, I think, less than 24 hours at this point. So nothing is final. Maybe in a week it'll be a lot better, but I definitely think it needs a buff in order to be really viable. Right now it's just a cool aesthetic looking rune versus actually being useful. Anyways guys, that is all of the new event items from this event so far. There might be more added in the future. I know they mentioned something on New Year's, so definitely I'll be grinding that in the future. Anyways, comment down below what other videos you want to see from me over this event. Subscribe for more, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!